Hello everyone, I'm so glad you came back. I am home alone right now with my dog, who I noticed in the last video. I heard this click, 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 click up the feet, and I didn't realize that he was walking around so much during the video. But that's what he does when he thinks I'm talking to somebody. He kind of travels around the house. Right now he's sleeping on his little bedding in the living room, so I'm hoping he stays there and doesn't come out thinking I'm talking to someone that's here. Anyways, today is very snowy out. I was outside just a smidgen, but you know, I think I'll show you how snowy. So hang on, we're going to take a little walk and I'm going to go out and show you the snow. It's still coming down. As you can see, there's my chicken house. I'm hoping I'm not too loud because I can't tell. I have a tendency to think that you can't hear me because you're so far away. But anyways, notice the snow on top of the roof of the chicken house. And the boxes, we've been cleaning the boxes off. I haven't cleaned them off yet today because I haven't gathered any of the eggs. I've been getting some eggs lately. This is part of the fencing that we have. This is the dog kennel part. And later in the year, when the snow disappears, we put out the electric fence, and then they have a good distance that they can travel and eat all the bugs and the whatever they find in the grass, eat fresh grass. And notice the little house on the hill. I don't know if I can zoom you in on this. I've never done it outside. Let me see. What's it doing? Not doing anything. How do I zoom? I forgot how to zoom. I really forgot how to use my camera. If it's, oh, here we go. There we go. That little house on the hill, that little house my husband built because I wanted a little playhouse for the kids. That's what it is. It's a little house for the kids. There's so much snow up there right now that to walk up there, it'd probably be knee deep. And down, I'll come down a little bit. I'm trying to go very slow. I'm not very good at all of this. But anyways, see that huge pile of snow? This is just outside my back door. And we haven't even shoveled. The wind kind of whips the snow around and gives me mounds. Pretty soon, all the snow will come off the roof of the chicken house because if that was to melt, that would be such a heavy load. Well, now we'll go back inside because it's pretty cold out here. Okay, we're back inside, and my dog was traipsing around because he thought I was going somewhere. I wasn't going anywhere but to the door. And let's see. Oh, I should catch you up on the mice. And I should catch you up on a lot of things that I put in some of the other videos, just so I can say it's all done. And this is what we found with the mice. We caught the two that we caught, the one that was in the house and the one that was in the coop. The two that are still out there drinking my water out of the coop, they're still there. Oh, somebody's sending me messages. Oh my goodness, I never get messages. But anyways, well, back to the stories. The mice, oh, another one. My goodness, all the bingans. Let me think. Okay, the mouse in the house was caught. The mouse outside was caught. The two that are drinking water are still drinking water. The rooster is crowing, and I'm now getting eggs again. So they must be relaxed enough to where they're going to give me eggs. Plus, the rooster's still very nice. I walk in, and the chickens greet me like they used to before that other rooster. When Fred was there, that was his name. When he was there, they would move away real fast, skitter, just like he was skittering, and then he'd kind of cock his little self and try to challenge me. And but this one, the girls greet me. He kind of steps off to the side and waits till the food is in the dish. Then the girls start to eat, and then he kind of watches, and then a little later on he jumps down and he has something to eat. I have hay bales in the chicken run part that's in there so that they can hop up and down on the hay bales. Plus it helps keep a little bit of the wind, which I don't think they get much wind anymore because I've got the green cloth around the outside. They can see, when you're inside the coop, you can see outside really clear, but you can't see into the coop from the outside. In fact, in one of my videos where I shared pictures, that was pictures of the coop on the outside, the chicken run, and then the other picture was the one inside. If you were inside the chicken run, you could look out and you could see the backyard real well. It also showed pictures of my artichokes. I let them go to flower because they're just too pretty. That was my second year, because the first year the artichokes don't form artichokes. It takes 2 years for them to do that. And so they just keep sprouting. The roots are deep enough in my raised bed that they live through this winter, and then they will come back up in the spring, and I should have artichokes again. Also, in one of my videos, I mentioned some foods for Italian foods, and I wanted to mention a story, and I forgot. It was about the colander, what's called a colander. But I never called it a colander. I always called it a school of pasta. So when I got married, I was making some pasta, and I had told my husband, could you get me the school of pasta? And he looked at me like, what in the world are you talking about? School of pasta. School of what? What is a school of pasta? So I said, that thing that you strain the macaroni with. And he goes, a colander? Well, you know, I never thought of it as a colander. It always was a school of pasta. And then when I was in the deli one day, I asked for provolone cheese. And the person looked at me and said, you mean provolone? And I says, yeah, provolone. Well, a lot of people don't say it quite like it's supposed to be said, and they cut it short. But it's really provolone for provolone cheese. Then there was another thing that when people are talking about making the manicotti and or making lasagna, and they're going to they call it ricotta. It's not ricotta. It's ricotta. Oh boy, I can't even say it. It's ricotta. Ricotta. They give it an ah sound, and we give it an oh sound if it's spoken correctly. And another food that I get a chuckle out of is when they talk about the chickpeas. We never call chickpeas, or the garbanzo beans, I guess they're on the can, sometimes they'll say. We used to call them chickadee. And the chickadee is, oh, it's good. It's very good. It's something that I still eat. I eat the chickpeas, which I call chickadee. I eat those. I also mentioned in one of my videos about the ketogenic way of eating. I made the mistake, and I put a little note by it. I said no carbs. It's low carbs. You try to keep your carbs under 20. I count total carbs. I don't count net carbs. Some don't count the carbs in their vegetables because vegetables have a lot of carbs. And if you eat root vegetables, those are really carby, like potatoes or sweet potatoes or beets. Those are very high. I was surprised to find that eggplant, I love eggplant. And I was surprised to find that has a fair amount of carbs in it. But I still eat it. And the one thing that really I was surprised I even liked was kale. Kale salad, not kale chips. I've had kale chips. Kale chips are good. But kale salad, where it's raw and you chew. My one sister said it's like chewing wood. But, you know, I've got teeth. You might as well use them. And you chew the kale. It's actually got a sweet taste to me now that I've taken all the sugar out of my coffee. I took the sugar out. I used to be a heaping teaspoon cup of coffee with sugar. And I tried I tried putting just a little bit less in, but you put a little less in, it doesn't taste good. You put a little more in, it still doesn't taste good until you put the full 2 teaspoons back in. So I decided I would just cut it out completely. Take it all away. So that's what I did. I went cold turkey with the sugar. That was the only thing I liked sweet. When somebody would have cookies, I used to say, well, what kind? Because I only liked 2 kinds. I only liked peanut butter cookies and chocolate chip cookies. But they had to be homemade. They couldn't be store-bought because the store-bought ones were too sweet. I didn't like those. I do like Pizzelles, but they've got a lot of sugar in them too. So maybe I don't like them anymore. I don't know. Things are too sweet now. Things that I didn't know were sweet because I had so much sugar in my coffee that they tasted not sweet. Like the baking morsels, the chocolate morsels, my husband was eating those and I used to go, how can you eat those things? They're bitter. Well, now that I don't have any sugar in my coffee, those are actually pretty tasty. So yeah, I count them out because 16 little morsels is enough. I was eating too many, and when you eat too many, your weight goes up. Even though I started eating ketogenic just to maintain my weight, and I also found that the arthritis in my one knee, I had arthritis in just one knee, but it wasn't there all the time. I think it was a roving arthritis, one that was there one day and gone another day and maybe be back in a week or two. It used to go on vacation, I think. But anyways, that has disappeared completely. I don't have any arthritis in the right knee. I don't have arthritis in any other part of my body, thank goodness, because my mother, who had extremely bad arthritis in her legs. In fact, she used to say when she was a young girl, she couldn't even sit Indian style or crisscross applesauce, as they say today. She couldn't do that as a young girl because her knees, she must have had a juvenile arthritis. And it was the doctors diagnosed it as rheumatoid arthritis, which is very painful. But as she got older, and when she was in her 80s, she started to lose weight, but she also had dementia and Alzheimer's. And she started to lose weight, even though she was eating like a horse. That was a sign that her body was not absorbing any of the nutrients anymore. It was just flushing right out of her. Her knees didn't hurt anymore. She was able to move about, and she could cross her ankles a little better. She never could cross her knee over her knee like I sit. I sit with my knee crossed. But she could never do that. She also used to cross her ankles. And in the older stories, when they talked about etiquette, crossing your ankles was the way you were supposed to sit, with your ankles crossed, your knees together, because all girls wore skirts or dresses, and nobody wore pants. My mother never wore pants. She was from a generation that slacks were never a thing to wear. Talk about old things. This shirt, I'm wearing blue. Yes, it's a blue, teal, I don't know, it's a pretty blue. This shirt I got before I was married. Now I've been married 37 years. It'll be 38 years in July. And this shirt I got before I was married. It was a Christmas gift from my sister. And when I got it, it took me probably a year before I wore it because it had loose, I thought, real loose sleeves. It was when they were doing the bulkier look of clothes when you put your arms out, you felt like you were draping. See, it's got a drapiness to it. Where now clothes are really drapey. This is more fitted compared to what you could buy now. So I took a little while to wear it, but it's high quality. The things of a long time ago, their material is very high quality. Things last. They keep their stretch. They keep their shape. They keep they don't have little piles of balls like you'd have to shave a sweater. It doesn't do any of that. The material they used years ago was way better than the material of today. Unless you pay a fortune for your clothes, which I try not to do. But if I do need something for a special occasion, my husband will say, don't even look at the price. Because if I look at the price, I'll say, you know, I don't really need this. So I don't look at the price if he tells me not to. But I do look when I go in the dressing room. And I still think, oh, I shouldn't be buying this. This is too expensive. But if I need it, he says, you get it. Because I'm not an extravagant type of person. I really don't like shopping. As you can see, I wear clothes from a long time ago. And I got married in 1980, so you figure this was in the 70s. I have clothes from the 70s, and I have clothes from the 80s. I mentioned this in another video, and 90s, and some 2000s. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm done running out of stuff. I'm rambling now. But I did want to catch up on a few things, and I'm so glad that you came back. And I will try to do another video another day. And now it's the hard part. Always the hard part is saying goodbye. It's like when you leave somebody. It's very hard to say goodbye. So just to say, if I was on the phone, I'd say, okay, I got to go now. I'll talk to you later. So guess what? I'll talk to you later. Bye.